Will the Nintendo Switch be a success? Here to discuss it with me is, of course, Zach Sharps. Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. The Dallas Cowboys lost in the playoffs. All right.
Okay, that's good for you. Well, Nintendo is in a different state, I think. Well, of course they had the Switch presentation. They announced a price release date coming out on March 3rd, and of course for $299. It's different in Europe because they can't set the price there. So it's like all over the place. Some retailers are selling it for $330, some even for $350. So it's all over the place. Anyway, I went hands-on with the device. I went to like an event in Germany where I could play like for 4 hours with the Nintendo Switch, play like all the huge games except for Mario. So had a great time there. So we're going to discuss like what happened after the press conference, how do we see this system performing like business-wise? Will it like, I mean, of course, the Wii U was a flop. It didn't do well. Will the Switch turn Nintendo around? Will they make a lot of money with this, or will they not? Do you want to like do some sort of intro of what happened after the press conference?
Yeah, so it's worth noting that we're going to be discussing two different things here. We're going to be talking reveals, as in like the Nintendo reveal trailer for the Switch back in October. And then we're going to be discussing, and that also is the same with like the PS4 and the Xbox One. Both of those sort of had reveals before their initial conference in E3 of 2013. And then Nintendo obviously had their conference, which is their E3, because they think that they're too good for E3, so they do their own things. And so business-wise, investors are not looking at this as a success. Nintendo stock is down 8% since the conference. If you guys remember, it also went down during the reveal. That is somewhat normal because the Xbox One saw the same dip during its reveal before that E3 of 2013, but Sony's actually went up before E3 2013 when discussions were being had about a new console. So this isn't really a great sign because, like I said before, when it comes to E3 2013, the PlayStation 4, when it was being highlighted, the stock went up for Sony. Well, with the Xbox One and Microsoft's stock plunged after the disastrous E3 2013 conference. And it plunged, I think, a little bit less than Nintendo's, which I think spells bad news for what investors think is going to happen here. Because if you see with the PS4 sold gangbusters, Xbox One didn't, investors were right to invest in Sony. When it comes to Nintendo, though, it's been down constantly. It's just going down and down and down. Now you can equate this to basically the Pokemon Go ballooning of their stock initially, and the fact that some investors are still sort of selling off some of their stocks, especially after Super Mario Run released and didn't really perform as good in terms of its pay-throughs from free to premium. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly if this is all the Switch, but considering it happened pretty much at the same exact time as when not only the reveal happened in October and when the conference happened just recently, it's not a good sign business-wise.
Yeah. And this also happened with the Wii U. I looked up an article from Eurogamer. Nintendo shares fall after Wii U reveal by 7.5%. So that is also like, we're worth pointing out because, like we said, the Wii U, was a flop. It didn't do well. So it's super interesting. So from your perspective, if you see like the lineup, I mean, what they have at launch is 1-2 Switch, and Zelda Breath of the Wild, of course, game that is also going to come out on the Wii U. I first thought, okay, will it launch like maybe later, because they did that with Twilight Princess, of course, as well, that launched on Wii, later on GameCube. But that's like their whole lineup. You have Skylanders, some Just Dance games, but a lot of people already play them, or they're not that interesting. Zelda's really the big game here. Then later we have, in March they're also going to release a puzzle game. Okay, that's cool. April, at the end of April, there will be Mario Kart. Then in spring there will be ARMS. Then in the summer there will be Splatoon 2. And then at the end of the year we will see, of course, Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is also going to release. So if you look at that lineup, because what I really thought was going to happen during this press conference was like, okay, the Wii U year of 2016 was kind of lackluster. We had a Star Fox game, we had a Paper Mario game, and yeah, that was about it. I probably forget some things, but there were not like huge titles there. So I thought, okay, they're moving their stuff to the Switch. They're going to do this the right way. They're going to come out and say, oh, retro, you know them from Metroid, Donkey Kong, here's their new IP, or here's a new Metroid game. And we have all these 3DS studios that are now on board on the Switch as well, because the Switch will be our console moving forward. We didn't see this at all. There were some third party, FIFA was announced. Well, there are now rumors that this is a PS3 or Xbox 360 port. What the heck? Skyrim, yeah, not at launch. I mean, Skyrim 2011, it came out. Okay, it relaunched on the PS4 and Xbox One in October of 2016. So you think, okay, if they have that at launch, fair enough. It's releasing in fall 2017. What the heck? It's like all these things didn't turn out well. And of course, yeah, I played it as well. And yeah, I can talk a little bit about that because I'm really excited about what I've played and the games I've played. But yeah, from a business perspective, and it's also like pretty pricey. Well, what do you think about the price, for example? Just look at the big picture here.
Yeah, well, so we'll talk about the play experience that you did in another video that we already have planned. But when it comes to the business perspective, there's a couple things, actually a few things that really killed this console's potential in terms of sales, I think. Number one, you have the $300 price tag, which is different, of course, in different regions. I saw Australia, it's really ridiculous expensive. If they would have had it around $250, I think that would have been a better sell to a lot of people, especially those who are still on the edge about Nintendo wanting to come back, but kind of not really, unless there was like the rights in best case scenario displayed. That would have probably got them to jump over, including myself, if they didn't do the online paid service as well. They basically pulled a Microsoft and Sony when their whole thing for a long time was their online was free, and I don't think Nintendo is going to be able to give enough of a value proposition there in order to really make people feel like paying for that service. And when you go into a store and you see that that is going to be a thing, and you know that that's going to be a thing because there's been a lot of people buzzing about it, that's going to cause some issues PR-wise as well before this thing hits store shelves. Then you have the fact that its internal storage is only 32 gigabytes, and it is basically only to be expanded upon via two different methods: an external hard drive, which not everyone has an external hard drive, and also an SD card. Now, SD cards, that's going to be like the worst way to expand your space with this thing, but it's the only way you can really do it on the go, at least efficiently. Because when it comes to SD cards for like a 250 gigabyte one, for a good one, you're looking at well over $100. Now, of course, you could cheap out, but the read-write speeds on it are going to be disastrous for you. So you want to go up and get a Samsung one, or something that has good read-write speeds. And a lot of consumers aren't going to really know what the hell that is. They might buy a really bad one. Read-write speeds will be crap, and then their games will not load and have a bunch of issues, and it just will be a bad time for them. And then you have the expandable storage, via like a USB hard drive, for instance. They said that that's going to be enabled for the Switch, but I didn't really look into the Switch's ports and whether or not the handheld portion has a USB port. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but no. I know that it has a USB-C though, right?
Yeah, for charging and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think that would work with a hard drive, but I know that the actual base will have something to connect that to. That's that's something that they discussed. Now, for a 500 gigabyte to a terabyte, I have a terabyte hard drive that I bought for like $50. So that's probably going to be the easiest way for people to expand at least the base system's storage. It's just going to be when you take it on the go, if you have to download patches, or you, for example, buy a digital edition of Zelda that takes up 40% plus of your storage, that's going to be an issue. And then on top of all of that, you have the fact that the accessories are so price gouging. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Exactly. Like just if you want to buy two of the Joy-Con controllers, like the left and right, not even with the base that you connect them to, you're looking at $80. $80. And then if you want to get like the sort of Xbox One-ish, Xbox 360 type thing that you plug them into.
By the way, the Pro Controller. I play with
does?
it. It sucks.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm just
it's not-
saying, if you want to, it's like $20 extra. So you're looking at over $100 just for one controller to hold it like a normal controller if you want an additional one. So they're just really shooting themselves in the foot with this thing in terms of marketing.
In terms of the Joy-Con, I mean, they chose to go with the like HD rumbling and that you can feel like how many ice cubes are in your hand and stuff like that. They chose to do that, and there are also motion controls in there. And I played, for example, ARMS, the new fighting game. They have it's like Wii boxing meets some sort of one-piece fighting game. So 3D fighting, you look over the shoulder of your character. It's a really cool game, and the motion controls work really well. So if you look from it from the outside and you see this like small piece of technology, you think, what the heck, $40 or $50 for a single one? What are they smoking? Well, if you put that in your hand, it feels like good technology. Still though, it doesn't really, if you want to play that ARMS fighting game with another person and you really want that because it's like Wii boxing, you want to do that with someone else. And in the Wii era, you had to buy a Wiimote and a nunchuk, and that was like $60. And now you're looking at $80. And yeah, you can only use it for like that game, right, as of now. So it's like a huge investment. And also, if you buy this system, and like I said, in Europe for $330, you don't have a game. There's like no game with it. So you have this system, and yeah, then you still have to look around. You will have to buy it for $400, or you have to spend $400 to get something out of this system at launch. And that's like insane. I mean, you have this 1-2 Switch game, and that's $40. And it's like a fun idea, and you can do some fun drinking games, for example, with it, because you have like a game where you have this Joy-Con in your hand, and then you have to look the other person in the eye, and then you like put this Joy-Con, it's like a gun. You put them out of the holster and you shoot, and then the game sees, okay, he's faster. So you can do some sort of fun with that. But $40, and there are some more mini games.
I just want to correct you. It's actually $50 on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah, $49.99. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
that
even
is like
worse.
different in other territories. Yeah. Well, that's like insane. What the heck are they thinking? And also someone made like this did the math. Okay, so the dock is $90. Both Joy-Cons are $80, so he like saw that the tablet, so the whole console, is, if you put all the devices that are in the box, their retail value, from that you see that the Switch device is $90. Well, that's probably not the case. So it really shows you that Nintendo is just doubling down on the people that do buy this stuff and want to get as much money out of them. From the Nintendo fans. And that's also about the service they're now going to do, the internet. Like, you have to pay now in the fall 2017. You're going to have to pay for Nintendo Online stuff, and I think that that's so a bad idea. Of course, they look at PlayStation, they look at Xbox, and they think, why they can do it? Why can't we? I mean, we're also a huge company. Well, I really see the Switch for many people as a separate device. If you are like a real gamer and you play and of course the term real gamer, you know what I mean. If you like to play games, you're not going to, you will not be fine with a Switch only as your only platform. You will simply not be fine. So if you have to then pay for a PS4 where there are a bunch of multiplayer games, of course. You have Destiny coming, the new Destiny, you have Call of Duty, Overwatch, you have a ton of games there. You pay for the PlayStation Plus subscription or Xbox Live. And then you have this Switch where you play Mario and Zelda, and you want to do some rounds of Splatoon sometimes. Are you going to pay for that? I don't know. It just sucks. You know?
And it's just like I said marketing, but what I really meant was value proposition regarding the Switch in general, because just a few of those things that they did just made me really, like, the chance of me buying one is now down to 15%, but there's still that percentage there because I've been starved of a Nintendo system for so long that I almost will just buy anything at this point, because I want to play Nintendo exclusives, and I just hate that they did this, because it's like, why would you make someone like me who wanted to come back so much almost not want to come back at all because you guys made these stupid mistakes because they market this thing as a party console, just like they did with the Wii, right? How is a party console going to succeed when your accessories are just outrageously priced? And how are people really going to want to, afford multiple consoles, which is going to be a thing. Everyone does that. I own a PC. I'll be buying a PS4 Pro soon, so that's basically two platforms.
But with a PC, you're fine. With only a Switch, you can't go anywhere. It's like, okay, in March, Zelda, then April, Mario Kart. Well, if you are like a Nintendo fan, you already played Mario Kart. Then May probably ARM.
That was one of the ones I would buy, and that would require online, which would require the paid service.
Yeah, in fall 2017, but still, I understand your point. It's like waiting for months, while on the PlayStation, it's like there are too many games. What can I? It's like, oh my god, and on PC it's the same. So
yeah, and so in that regard, of course, lineup-wise, Nintendo is having issues in that regard because it's spread so thin. I mean, there was articles that were stating that the Switch was literally the lowest amount of launch titles out of the past, I think, 3 of their consoles, the 3DS, the Wii U, and the Wii. And that's not a good thing. I mean, of course, quality over quantity.
Absolutely,
when your main game is launching on the Wii U as well,
and
the next main game is launching holiday, it's like, what are you guys thinking here? You should have just waited till holiday. That way you have Zelda and Mario that are there, and just say screw you, Wii U people, because that's already what you did.
How they did it in 2016. They had, of course, the NES Classic. They had their mobile games. What was that? The first mobile game, and of course Super Mario Run. Miitopia? No, I don't know. Anyway, Jesus, I forgot. But anyway, they had some other things to cut the cost. They made some money in 2016, while they could not do it for another year. So. And I think, and I totally believe this, and I told you this like many times before, if you review Nintendo games, they send you these games sometimes 2 months before the release. So that shows you that they are done. Yeah. I think the new Mario game, probably done. It's just, they need something in the holiday. Otherwise, people will be like, yeah, but what will I do in the holiday? So it's like Nintendo, and I thought, okay, like I already said, this is their new system moving forward, so they're gonna have all these developers, but on the other end, they're still doing some stuff to the 3DS. It still has some interesting games coming out, not like these huge titles, but still, there is some support there. Just got it, right? Go all in with this device. And to round out this a little bit, because I think we agree right now Nintendo is not in a good shape with the Switch. They need way more, and I believe that in my heart, I believe that this was just the beginning. This was just a presentation people that were going to buy the Switch at day one were going to buy it no matter what. Of course, Zelda helps a lot. I think without Zelda, it would have been a totally different story, but still, Zelda helped.
I just want to point out one last thing. I think this is really my closing thoughts is with the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, one thing that would have really made people also excited for it is if they would have bundled in at $300 a new edition of Wii Sports. Now, obviously not Wii Sports, but it would be called Switch Sports, because 1-2 Switch, it doesn't suit that at all. I mean, it looks so stupid. Like, you look at each other, like, who the hell wants to look at each other? It's a console. You look at a screen, use the motion controls, like throw a bowling ball or play tennis, or box on the screen like arms or whatever. That would have been such a huge system seller in terms of enticing people, because so many people bought a Wii and just played that game for like hundreds of hours, like even grandmas and grandpas.
I know, but they bought it, and then the Wii they put it in the closet, and that was the end of the Wii. So they're not looking at this device and saying, oh wow, we're going to do this again, because they had a Wii Sports type of game on the Wii U, and they also had some sort of Wii Fit on the Wii U, and that didn't work out. Of course,
well, that's because the Wii U is different.
Yeah, that's true.
And also to your point as well, the reason why the Wii didn't sell a ton of software in terms of like third party and whatnot wasn't because of like Wii Sports or whatever, it was because they weren't enticing from a hardware perspective. Like the Wii was underpowered in terms of its performance. A lot of the ports didn't perform well. And then you had on top of that, the controller wasn't really suited that great for it. Where the Switch, it feels a lot. I would assume it feels a lot better in the hands, especially with the screen there and everything.
It's a great device.
And then if you pop them together, obviously that becomes like a normal controller. So it just feels better, and instead of like the Wii where it's two weird dangling things that a lot of third-party developers try to horseshoe in motion controls and whatnot in their ports, and just really did poorly to really emphasize that the games are on the Wii. And so there was a lot of issues with the Wii just in general that caused people not to buy games also with it. Where if they were to entice people to buy a Switch through having another sort of sports game like that to showcase those motion controls and have it built in, especially since those motion controls I assume are way better than the Wii ever was, that really just would sell the console to a lot of people, because they would know that they're going to get hours upon hours of party entertainment from the console right out of the box, instead of having to buy something, especially with how thin their lineup is in 2017. So I'm just saying from a value perspective that would help out a lot. But obviously that comes into whether or not they thought that attributed to the Wii's failures in some degree.
Yeah, I just hate to see that it doesn't look like they've changed. And we saw with the Wii U, it was a flop. So we thought, obviously, okay, Nintendo is going to do this. Yeah, they're totally going to change what they did with the Wii U. They're going to go all in. This is their new device moving forward, and we did not see this. And of course, the presentation was bad. It was like a Japanese style presentation. It was like no excitement at all. That didn't really help. The games they showed, early development, like all the third-party Square and Atlas games they showed there was just simply no excitement. Well, they could have, I mean, like you said, you were on the fence of buying this, like you were interested, and they had the most disastrous outcome for you. Well, they could have grabbed you, and
easily
they didn't.
Too. And there's just 4 things that I can easily just name that would have got me to pre-order one. 4 things.
Yeah, exactly. You gonna name them, or?
Well, I already named them before. The overpriced accessories. If I ever want, someone to come over to play it, then I have to buy a $100 plus freaking thing. And then
$80. But on the other hand, no. But the best thing is with the Switch, for example, with Mario Kart, you don't have to pay. Don't have to buy anything. While on the other consoles, you have to buy another controller. So, for example, Mario Kart, you can play that with one Joy-Con. And the other
I doubt that my hands would like feeling that.
No, it's really good. It's really good. I played it.
I don't know, man. It just seems so bad. Like the ergonomics of it. 'Cause I love my Xbox One controller because the ergonomics, it literally fits like a glove. I like my controllers to fit like a glove, and I feel like the normal sort of standard layout of those controllers when you pop them together will fit fine. But then if I don't, have them, together, and it's just like a one little strip, it's gonna feel really awkward. But then on top of that, like the online aspect of it, then the storage aspect, and there's just so many like minor things, and the lineup as well also makes me kind of want to wait till holiday, even if I do get one, because all that's there is Zelda. Like, what else am I gonna buy?
I heard this a lot.
Yeah. So. And that was the main concern I even heard from a lot of Nintendo's fans. On IGN's main sort of reaction video, they were talking about that as well. One of them was like, I can get Zelda on my Wii U. Like, come on now. So it's, I don't know. Yeah. I'm still on the fence, but I'm a little bit off the fence at this point.
Yeah, I totally get why. And I hope that, if we look at what they've announced right now, and it could totally be that this video, they will then suddenly come out in February, announce a lot of other stuff, like they heard the feedback, okay, we're not gonna sit on this stuff, let's announce it now to get more
surprise
hype.
Mario's coming out in March.
Yeah, exactly. No. I mean, they know that they will be sold out because, we forgot to tell this, but on, for example, the GameStop, they're sold out. All the major US retailers and also in Europe, they're sold out.
From what I heard, the Wii U was sold out too, though. Like
it's exactly the same. But still, people are, and Nintendo knew this. So why go all in right now when the Nintendo audience will buy it now? And I think that this is also like a device that is really like if you bring it to your friend and you show it, it's pretty impressive. So I think that will always also help. Well, with the Wii U, this was totally not the case.
And that's why I think it has a lot of potential. It's just they did not play their cards right at all, and hopefully they can turn it around after people tell them to. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So that will be we will discuss the Switch, and we will also discuss if Nintendo will win 2017 in other videos. So be sure to check them out. Thanks a lot, Zach, for joining for this discussion, and like the video if you did. Subscribe for way more gaming discussions, and we will speak to you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.